there was a news. I don't know if it was out of Variety, one of the publications, one of the entertainment publications, but it was J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah.
Who's not welcome on the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter.
Of the story she created.
What did she do?
What?
Ryan.
I'm sorry.
She's a TERF.
I normally keep up my J.K. Rowling news, but please remind me.
Well, it's been people have hated her for a while.
If he's going to be condescending, don't remind me.
Right,
no,
fuck
I'm
him.
serious. I'm sure she did something. But
She's a TERF.
She's a TERF. The acronym is trans. She made the mistake of doing what Martina Navratilova made, which is like men are men and women are women. The controversial stance of declaring men and women women. And for that, she's out.
Tessa's just getting into opposites. Like they're starting to learn that this pre-kindergarten level. And where she's like, ask me opposites, day, night. And this is last night at dinner. And she goes, boy. I'm like, oh boy, where do I go? Where do I go?
What do you say?
Where do I go here?
Yeah. She's going to probably live in a world where she's going to have to announce her theys and her thems and their z's and their she's and whatever. I don't know what percentage of our population is transgendered, but I feel like there's a very small group of people that are trying to control a very large group, and it's working wonderfully because she JK, and you have this story, I think. I think we have the Variety story.
Before you do that, do you want to know what a TERF is?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
It's transgender exclusionary radical feminist. Very specific.
Very specific.
Uh-huh. So she's a radical feminist?
Who is also transgender exclusatory.
Yeah, excluding the trans community from being feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Radically?
I think she's the radical.
I don't know, man.
But the other problem is everyone, whether it's being racist or being turfist, others will label you that. I don't think most people who have been called racist in the last 10 minutes or TERFs would label themselves as a radical feminist. But she's been, I don't know. Do you have the article there, Max?
Well, everywhere has been writing about it, but basically, it's just they're doing their 23rd reunion on HBO Max, a la like what they did with Friends, and they're going to get everybody back together. But in all the previews, JK is not in it. They have not announced that she's going to be in it, and the only way that she is going to be in it is through archival footage. And this is in response to her tweets. She criticized the phrase "people who menstruate." But
we can't say women. We have to say people who menstruate.
Yeah,
there's no more
like birthing people.
She said, "If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives."
So she has F me money. Good for her. The other thing is Harry Potter's Harry Potter. I mean, I get...
Hold on.
Right. Write that down. Well, what I'm saying is Dave Chappelle just got hit over the head with this. Mm-hmm. Dave Chappelle, you could argue, if you wanted to, and I wouldn't, but you could go, well, he's a comedian, and he speaks on subjects that are relevant or timely or whatever, and he pushes the conversation one way or the other. And, I mean, if you think about it, remember the whole reason Bill Cosby got into what Bill Cosby got into is Hannibal Buress,
That's right?
Of course.
Doing a set.
So, you could say, oh, he's a comedian. He's speaking, well, who cares? And that's my argument. He's a comedian. Who cares? Yeah. But you can talk about things that lead to other things. So you go, well, there's Dave Chappelle, and okay, maybe he is convincing a certain amount of the populace that of this or of that. Right. But Harry Potter, let me say it again. Harry Potter. I'll
write this down.
He lives in Hogswart or something.
That's pretty close for you.
He's got a wand and he flies on a Swiffer.
A Gryffindor?
A Gryffindor.
First of all, Gina, have you never seen it?
I've never seen any Harry Potters.
Well,
what do they play? Like Muggle Pucky?
Quidditch. I mean, I have no idea.
Quidditch.
You're due with that little boy.
Yeah, you're probably right. You know what? You know who?
And Adam's getting close to Hogwarts. That's actually
Hogswarts is pretty good. You know who would have been interesting to ask is Peter Stormare's
Co-star.
Co-star in the movie. Timothy Spall is in all the Harry Potters, I think.
All right.
The star of this movie,
Yeah.
it was in the series.
Well, what I'm leading to is this is a fantasy about a place that doesn't exist in a time that's either well beyond our time or well before our time. Unclear, but the point is this is pure fantasy.
Right.
So her feelings on transgender shouldn't really factor in since,
Shouldn't color your viewing of.
well, how much transgender... What I mean is Chappelle gets up on stage and talks about the
Right.
transgender scene.
Harry Potter does not.
She is not going to be discussing that when they ask her in
Right.
real time
Yeah.
about when she thought of the idea and
Right.
the first script and on all the nuts and the bolts of Harry Potter. So why does she need to be wished out into the cornfield?
Whereas Chappelle's opinions are part and parcel and baked into the material and who he is, at least on stage. She's a couple of steps removed from her personal opinions on gender or whatever and the material that's being celebrated.
And why did this even come out in the first place? Like, was she writing some sort of a new book? Or I mean, like,
Fantastic Beasts.
but then, like when she started saying all this stuff on Twitter and like weighing in, it did seem so sort of like out of nowhere.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who have a phone, have a Twitter account, maybe a woman, and are being told something that doesn't make sense to them, and so they respond.
Don't forget that she's a semi-prolific writer. She put out hundreds of thousands of words in God knows how many years, and now I don't think she's writing as much. So those thoughts don't stop.
Right. And then, so the scary part of this chapter we're in as a society is she needs to be canceled. The creator of this thing that we're having a reunion
Right.
about and has employed millions and made millions and sold millions. She's got to be removed over something that's not involved with the actual product.
Sure.
Now, you're being removed for the way you think. Now, if somebody says, we got to tear down this Confederate war statue, you go, well, that's what he did.
Right.
That
That's what he
represents
did.
him.
Or we need to edit out some of the language from the Disney film from
Right.
Peter Pan, or the way the Indians are portrayed in Peter Pan, or Jungle Book, or whatever it is. That at least you can draw a straight line. This is simply thought policing. This is like, and now we're getting into sort of McCarthyism because it's like, hey, I want to work in Hollywood. I want to write scripts. Well, you can't because you talk about this or think about this other stuff.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, but I'm writing a script.
Has nothing to do with
it's
that.
a Western.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I know, but I know the way you think.
But you think about this, so we got to remove you from that. That and being done by the McCarthyism people.
Right.
That's the best part.
You know who is kind of the was kind of the canary in the coal mine for this? She got Roseanne. Because Roseanne got written off her own show, and they just kept trucking right along.
That's right. That's right. Over. And I stand by a Valerie Jarrett.
Valerie Jarrett.
Yeah, I cannot.
she thought the bitch was white.
She thought the bitch was right. Show a picture of her. Yeah, I'm with Roseanne on that one. But anyway, all the cast has tweeted support for the trans community during the initial controversy,
how
too.
nice.
All right.
Necessary?
The trans community has essentially hijacked our culture. This is awesome.
We should assume if you're still invited to the gala, you're on the side of
You're
the
on the
trans
cool
community.
side, yeah.
Otherwise, that you wouldn't be invited.
We have a clip of Bill Maher, who, back to the Dave Chappelle stuff, I think he went on and did a kind of one-on-one with Andrew Cuomo. Is it Andrew Cuomo?
Chris.
Chris Cuomo. I got too many Cuomos in my head. Because then the dad was
Mario.
Mario. All right, anyway. He did a one-on-one with Chris, and Bill's got a fair amount of F me money as well. And he's standing his ground on the Dave Chappelle thing.
Well, I defended him.
I know.
I'm Team Dave.
Why?
And free speech. Well, first of all, you say going after. You use terms like homophobia. I was speaking recently about phobia. There's a word that's traveled quite a bit from its original meaning. A lot of mission creep on that word, phobia. It's become really just a way a word they use to say, I don't like something.
That's right. It's not a fear.
Phobia means an irrational fear. You know, spiders, arachnophobia. You know, you have an irrational fear. Okay, germophobia. I see all the hand sanitizers here. To me, that would be germophobia.
But those are only for shaking hands with me.
I see, which I never was worried about, and still I'm not. But he's not afraid of homosexuals.
Right.
Or it's not transphobic. It's like this trans stuff is very new. I don't think he or myself or any other, again, right-thinking person thinks there aren't such things in the world as people who are trans, who are born in a body that doesn't align with what their brain is telling them. That's okay. But now we're talking about children. It's interesting. Someone I know, a woman in her 40s, said to me somewhat recently at a dinner party that when she was a kid, she was what they used to call a tomboy. She said, I never was interested in wearing a dress. I only wore pants until I was like 14 or 15. She said, if I was around today, they would have made me into a boy here in California. That's what we're talking about. This is new, so don't put it into this category of this is settled science. Anything that deviates from the one true opinion on this means you're some horrible bigot and transphobic. That's not what's going on here. And I don't think Dave Chappelle is transphobic. I mean, a lot of that special is talking about his opening act.
Right.
Who's trans? Okay? It's just like, can we take a breath? Maybe we are going too far with the children part of this. You know, kids should not be really making decisions about their gender. I mean, Mario Lopez was almost canceled for suggesting that maybe 3-year-olds shouldn't decide their gender. This is not crazy stuff that makes you a bigot.
Well, Bill is he's I don't think Bill is changing his tune at all. I think the band is playing the tune differently and he stopped dancing. He's like, I'm this liberal guy who's progressive, but you guys are playing a different song than I was dancing to before. And the thing I actually thought about when I was thinking about transphobic, I always hate it when people go, you know, these are Americans that are scared of people that look different than them. Like, that's all of America all the time. You couldn't get into a fucking Uber if you were scared of people that look different than you. And they're calling everything phobic. Yeah, they're not phobic, but there is probably a new transphobia, which is shut your fucking mouth or they'll ruin your fucking career. I would be transphobic from that perspective. Sure. I'm not scared of the trans community, but you should now be scared of them ruining your career if you send out a tweet like J.K. Rowling did. So maybe there is a transphobia, but it's
not what you think.
Not what you think, but you would be wise to be transphobic if you're a young comedian or up-and-coming writer.
This might be a naive question, but the thing I don't understand is you hear a lot of people say, and rightly so, I haven't changed my position. Everybody else has moved away from me. And that's always met with like, that's bullshit, you know, you're a traitor to whatever. But why is it so hard to admit if that's your thinking? Like, that's right. We have progressed in this direction. You know, like, why is that such a bad thing when it's true?
Which part?
Saying, like, I haven't changed my beliefs. You've changed your beliefs and moved away from, you know, like you've moved away from Bill Maher. Why is that so hard to admit?
That's kind of the implied goal, is
right.
to move forward, move on, whatever.
Yeah.
Why is that taken with such defensiveness?
Oh, you mean, why would Bill?
I'm sorry if I'm not being clear. Why would the community he's saying that to, like, I am still a liberal progressive guy. You guys are the ones who've moved away from me. Why would that group be so defensive? Just admit it.
Oh, we've moved away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is that so hard to admit?
I don't know. There's not a lot of really admitting. There's just a lot of canceling. And everyone is so fucking scared that they just go along with it. And it's really, it's not the fault of the person. You take what's his name from The Bachelor?
Oh, Chris Harrison?
Harrison?
We've already forgotten.
Harrison. It's
I didn't
not
watch The Bachelor.
His fault. He didn't do anything. And it's not the whatever community, Black Lives Matter, it's not their fault. They're doing what they do. It's NBC or ABC. Right. It's their fault for immediately caving.
Right.
That's the problem. It's the boardrooms and the corporations that immediately cave. That's what's, because it takes, it's not the black community or the trans community that gets you canceled. It's the
corporate
network or the corporation that immediately pulls the plug on you.
Right. And just as an example of changing the language, excuse me, Adam, it's not called canceling anymore. It's simply deplatforming.
Deplatforming.
Okay.
Right.
Dare you.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Well,
Bill was saying that like even he was using the word woke, and they're talking about how like AOC says woke is old news now, and Bill's like, what grade are we in? like I just learned it, I can use it, but yeah, so even the word woke is getting
Woke is
pushed away.
chuggy.
Yeah.
All right, we got made up movies to play. So
I
I'm
loved
excited
Bill
about
saying
that.
he was at a dinner party with a young lady.
Yeah, and the conversation revolving around her wearing pants was him going, "Why are you wearing? Why are you still wearing your
You
pants?
still have clothes
for
on.
the
I've been
dinner
paying
party?"
you for the last hour.
All right, let me hit Simply Safe. Simply Safe wants your home to feel safer. There's no better time than now. This week, our friends at Simply Safe are giving my listeners, my show listeners, early access to their Black Friday deal, 50% off. Everything you need, indoor and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, around-the-clock monitoring by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report. Easily customized, and the system, you can do it online in minutes, even get free custom recommendations as well. There's Simply Safe's biggest discount of the year. Get a complete home security system at just over $100 with no long-term contracts and commitments. Supplies limited. Take 50% off at simplysafe.com/Adam. That's simplysafe.com/Adam. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with Made Up Movie right after this.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Ottawa, Canada. A 32-year-old woman was charged with abduction, assault, breaking and entering, and weapon possession after attempting to kidnap a newborn from a new mother. The woman subdued the mother using bear repellent. Definitely not a Jew.
All right, intro, Made Up Movie.
In a world where titles are many and plots are few, one man can take your movie names and make them come to life. What is going on? Adam Carolla stars in Made Up Movie.
All right, let's start at the top. Speak to Mike, 40 from Virginia. Mike.
Miho?
Maha?
What's going on?
Give us a title so we can make up a movie around it.
Run of the mill.
All right. I have a take.
Give it to us.
Let's hear it.
All right. There's an old textile mill in Indiana. And the dad, Liam Neeson,
Sure.
haggardly, let
Yeah.
the beard grow out a little
Beleaguered,
bit.
yeah.
He's been running this mill. It's like a family mill. It was
Right.
passed down from his father and so on and so forth. And, of course, things are changing. A lot of stuff's going to China.
Sure.
A lot of stuff's moving to Canada. They're going to open a big textile mill in Canada.
The supplier shut down.
Work
okay,
is
okay.
slowing down,
Right.
and this mill that's been in the family for 122 years looks like its days are numbered. But he has a young, plucky daughter, Charlize Theron, who's in New York.
Oh.
And she's working for an ad firm.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
They
fast-paced
do that
living.
thing. where
Because
she's-
her, walking in the street with purpose, Starbucks in her hand.
Got her
Right,
AirPod
got the
talking,
assistant
yeah.
following her while she's shouting out things, and the assistant's trying to write down things on the phone as fast as she can. Gets up. Now, she has a relationship that's not... She's realizing that this world, her world was... She wants to get away. We have a scene where somebody says to her, like, "Where are you from again?" And she goes, oh, well, I was born in Paris.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved
I
to
spent most of
Malibu.
my childhood in.
Right.
Yeah.
She's trying to get away from this
Right.
old Indiana.
Right.
She feels like a bumpkin, and
Right.
she's trying to overcompensate with all the glitz and glam of Manhattan, and she's never looked back, kind of thing. But she gets the call from the dad that the mill is closing down.
She's
needs
like,
help.
that mill was still around?
Right.
Because your mother put everything she had in here for 30
Right.
years.
Yeah,
working the phones, working the front desk.
Right.
Right.
And her secret is like she does feel this unwavering allegiance to help her dad.
And we have the scene where her boyfriend says he's met a younger woman,
Okay.
and he's out of there, and we find her alone in her giant Manhattan penthouse. And she pours a glass of wine. She reaches for the old scrapbook.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a touching montage.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's
Sure,
sipping her
flipping pages.
wine, and
Right.
she's looking at the old black and white pictures of the
Pigtails,
grandparents
yeah.
in the mill, and her up there. Yeah.
You mentioned the sort of assistant she's always barking at, Adam Devine type from Workaholics. Maybe he comes back with her. You know what I mean? And he becomes like the safety and operations
Right.
manager.
Right.
He's bamboozled at like how poorly this place is run. He's like, that's an OSHA violation. That's an OSHA violation.
Right. And he's
He's a
saying it
comic
to all
relief.
the haggard guys who've
Right.
been there for 40 years.
Dale, put on your helmet.
Yep, that's right. And she's, we see her walking in with her high heels and gets stuck in the mud, and that she's not dressed for it. She's clearly fish out of water, but she's got insight. She's keen. She's going to roll her sleeves up.
At one point, the dad opens up her, remember, I kept your room the same, and it's all of her old clothes. And she kind of has a character transition there with, like,
Puts the
ditching
coveralls back
ditching the
on.
Ann Taylor and the Banner Republic.
Right. And the deal she makes with herself and with her dad, like, fine, but I'm only giving you 2 weeks because I got to get back to my life.
Right. And then she gets a call from her, like, snarky publicist chick who's back in Manhattan. Like,
Right.
what are you hanging around with all those filthy Walmart
How's the
shoppers or
pigsty?
something? And she's like, these are some of the hardest working people.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
That's right.
She's back
she
in.
defends them.
Yeah.
They have to invent something in this mill. Like, there has to be,
Some revolutionary.
they were
Yeah.
making industrial grade smocks for people who work in the smelting
Sure.
industry or
The
something.
glamorous, sexy world.
And she's like looking down at her sexy handbag that cost her
I like this.
$18,000, and she's like,
It's so garish, but no,
Right.
is carbon neutral kind of a thing?
Right,
Where it's
yeah.
like, we figured out a way to go carbon neutral with these.
Right. But the problem with the purse is as expensive as it is and as pretty as it is, it doesn't hold together that well. Like it needs some, it needs some grit.
yeah, and it's made in China or
Yeah.
Mexico or something.
Burlap becomes the new hot fashion trend.
That and more montage
Yeah.
with the assistant who knows the internet.
Yeah.
And, we get a picture of Kim Kardashian holding
Yeah.
it. He
Sure,
does a thing
sure.
where, he goes down to Malibu and he goes down to, Mr. Chow's
Chow.
or something and like hands it to Kim Kardashian. She's like, what is this? And then he takes a picture
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
They put it up on the
Goes
internet.
viral.
Yep.
Goes viral.
Can we do one newspaper spin for the headline?
No, we
It's
do.
gotta be-
We do a TMZ
Yeah.
Harvey
Oh,
Levin.
okay.
You know that thing
I
where
know
they
if this is a period piece.
it never works, but they could do the thing, and he goes, Kim Kardashian
Right.
spotted.
So on with one of these mill
Right.
bags.
Right, mill bag. Right.
That's good. I like
the
this.
mill.
This is a good holiday movie. We got Christmas
would
coming
watch.
up.
This is a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
I would watch this.
With
this movie.
Charlize Theron.
Mike,
Yeah,
you okay with that?
I love it. I was thinking about adding that trope where before she went off to become successful, there was that dude that she left behind, and he's still there back at the mill.
Of course.
But I was thinking, wait a minute, let's make it a chick. So then we get like the lesbo angle.
Gender
gotta work.
fluid, we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be
Ooh.
the salt of the earth guy who drives a stake bed truck,
Yeah.
who's always, way too
Ruggedly
good looking,
handsome.
and he's always still back, kind of doing the you've changed thing
Yeah.
to her.
Maybe a Channing Tatum type.
Is it too precious to make them a transitioned person?
Brian, please.
No, they're very timely.
Yeah,
This is
I
Hallmark,
like
for God's
I like the Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. I got too many names. Channing Tatum.
Neither of those are names.
guy. I know. he's the guy. Yeah, he drives a stake bed truck. He's good looking.
What's up, good looking? Like messing with her from the old days.
Right. She kind of pretends like they didn't date a little in high school because she's moved on to the city slickers.
That's right.
She asked him to the prom.
Sadie Hawkins, 1989. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Any of you guys want to pick a line up there?
How about line 3?
Line 3.
Curious where we're going with this.
Talk to Pete, 48 from Washington. Pete,
Yeah.
you got a
How
title?
about, I do. How about The Plagiarite?
The Plagiarizer.
The Plagiarizer.
So we know that the Marvel universe is filled with characters, filled with superheroes, but we got a new villain in town.
Oh, no.
Guys writing bad checks.
This is somebody they've dubbed the Plagiarizer
Okay.
in like a sort of a Gotham City universe. Is that DC?
Oh.
Yeah, that's decent.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I got a thought.
Like the Riddler.
Yes.
He takes on the form of other superheroes.
Hold that thought. So,
Sorry.
like a body snatcher, he can get inside the body of other superheroes
Yes,
and
I
make them
know.
do their bidding.
Yeah.
And they don't know it, but he
That's
still
right.
has all their power.
That's how he wreaks havoc.
Everyone sees him like, hey, Iron Man, or whatever. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for
Yes.
saving the world.
Yes.
Bam, bam, bam.
And not until
Well, it starts
the earth
with
has been scorched.
Iron Man. What are you drinking a Pepsi for? You're a Coke guy. I just thought I'd mix it up.
Don't you have an exclusive deal?
Yeah, they start to, and now they're in the moral quandary because what do? Kill? You know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
like those zombie movies. That was your wife. Now
Right.
she's turning.
Yep.
Do you kill her?
Yes.
And he absorbs all the powers of said hero. How the fuck, what are you going to do about the Hulk? You know,
Right.
like, good luck killing the Hulk walking on the street.
And of course, you know, the first act is, or, you know, the first half of the first act is kind of funny. It's kind of like he's getting used to this, but then you don't realize until there is devastation in your path that something's amiss. So now you have to spend all of Act 2 trying to figure out which one of your friends is actually the plagiarizer.
God damn.
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to figure out a way to rid this person we love of this demon that's essentially in them without killing the
Right.
person.
Yeah.
But only when you figure out that the person isn't who you think it is.
Now, do we have a plagiarizer? Is it a he? Is it a she?
Is it someone who does good impressions anyway? You know what I mean? Kind of a younger Baldwin. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Alec Baldwin aged out of this role.
What do you think, Gina?
Well, I was thinking of, you know, he's very hot right now. Things are skewing a little younger. This might be a good vehicle for like a Timothy Chalamet. Because remember, the plagiarizer himself is not in most of the movie. It's being played by the person who
And
the superhero is.
we tell the origin story of young Timothy, who spells his name with two E's.
2 E's and an accent mark.
Yeah. Timothea.
Ugh. All right. We show an origin story of him as a young boy
Like it.
getting bullied.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then sitting and he's struck by lightning. Sitting and
It's never been done.
thinking, and then taking on the bully.
Yeah.
Becoming the bully, and the bully's punching himself in the face, going, I can't stop. And his bully friend's like, what are you doing, Ralph? And he's like, I gotta know what I'm doing.
Does
Yes.
it get dark? Does he throw himself off like a free overpass?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's good.
Yeah, that's real good.
That's the origin story.
Yeah, I like
Right.
this.
Yeah. And maybe we realize that the plagiarizer was really just a bullied young child, and we need to appeal to
Right,
the
connect
young.
with-
We need
yeah.
to connect.
Well, a technical question, maybe for Gina, possibly for both of you. What happens to Timothy Chalamet's body when he takes on when he's plagiarizing? See what I'm saying?
Yes.
When he goes inside of Hawkeye, what happens to Chalamet?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked it. He has, because he is at his heart an introvert and sort of a fearful kind of guy, he has this like little side room off of his closet in his apartment where he just like goes and shuts it. So nobody
Oh.
ever sees him.
Oh, so his body's in stasis.
Right, when he's sort of transcendental, yeah.
Because is there a twist where he goes into the body of his young crush, and he knows where his body is? See what I'm saying?
Pete?
It's some fucking weird shit.
I'm down.
Hold on, is Pete up? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Pete.
Not only am I impressed, I can't wait to see the ride at Disneyland.
Oh, that's right. That's going to be good.
All the mirrors.
Yeah, I sit on the
Marvel.
lap of whoever's in your seat. Hey, thanks, Pete.
Thanks, guys.
All right. I have thoughts. You have thoughts, Brian?
I liked initially line 2, but I feel personal connection with line 4.
Let's go 4.
Unless you
You want to
feel
go 4
strongly.
too?
Let's go 4.
All right. Adam, 36, Washington.
Yeah, the movie title is At a Loss. Can you make a win out of this loss?
Is it coming of age drama? Okay.
Hold on. He'll take his movie off the air.
All right, thanks, Adam. This is a caller, Adam. This is a coming of age drama. I don't know. Do we know a young actor like a Tom Holland? Maybe younger than that. You know, it'd be like middle school age.
Ooh.
The kid from Room.
Oh, yeah. He's got to be older now.
Yeah. Anyway, neither here nor there. We'll work out the casting later. It was a coming of age drama about a young middle school boy, maybe a little chubby, friendly, knowledgeable, but he starts to lose his hair at a young age.
Seth Rogen.
Premature. Well, thinking middle school.
Oh, middle
Jacob
school.
Tremblay.
Okay,
Jacob
starts
Tremblay. Yeah,
losing.
this is a young boy who's cursed with a premature male pattern baldness.
Sure.
And despite being a nice, friendly, personable kid, is the victim of mockery by all of his
Oh,
classmates.
we have that scene where the two pretty popular girls talking
Yeah.
lunch in the
Who do you
quad.
like? Who do you like?
And the one says, the character's name,
Right.
I guess
I think it's probably
we
Brian.
could call him Byron or
Byron,
something like
yeah.
that. And so the
Brian Hislop.
Then let's just reenact that scene, Gina.
Yeah.
So I'll be the young girl. You'd be like, who do you think's the cutest in the school?
Oh, I got to tell you, I get so many butterflies in my stomach when I see Brian.
You mean Byron?
When I see Byron.
For example, Byron?
Yes.
You mean Byron Dishlog?
Not Byron Dishlog.
That's sort of how it would play out. That'd be in the trailer, and we'd cut to the kid, again, chubby hair, pattern baldness starting to set in at 12 years old, single teardrop, just he's within earshot. Byron Dishlog is within earshot. But is in this fantasy, is there a young girl who maybe sort of takes a liking to him and realizes he's a little more substance there?
Impossible.
Yeah. I'm saying in this fantasy.
Yeah, I like it. I would watch
It's a coming of age movie.
Exactly. He's
All
got to
right.
overcome difficulties.
We got one more up there. Try it out. James. Oh, James
come on.
34 from. Oh, maybe I screwed
I think
this
you got
up.
both. Actually.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me try that. Let's see. James.
Hit.
I'll try it.
I had hold.
Wait. Okay. Hold.
Nah, hit 2. There we go.
Oh, look
there
at
we
you.
go. Well, he was the phone
You
guy.
guys there?
That's true.
Yeah. What's going on, James?
Adam, Gina, Bald.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
What you got?
So my movie title is Checked Out.
Oh. You have thoughts, you said?
I was thinking of kind of that series. Remember, there'd be like Dane Cook and Jessica Simpson or something. They worked at a big Costco or something.
Employee of the year. I think
Yeah,
is what it's
those
called.
kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Employee of the
Like
month, something.
we take the chick who's clearly hot, but we make her the plain Jane at the
Right.
dollar store.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a low ponytail and glasses.
Yeah, right. And of
This
course,
impossibly gorgeous creature. Let's make her stock the shelves.
right.
Right.
Nobody knows she's hot.
Right.
Except for the guy who's the the main star of this
Right.
thing. But so we have her at like the dollar store. You know what I mean? And there's a big deal because of inflation. The 99-cent store is going to have to go to $1.29.
Oh boy.
And she's
It's going to ruin their branding.
she has that life with her cat. And we show the sad thing where she goes back to her apartment and she opens the Chef Boyardee ravioli and warms it on the stove.
Right.
Doesn't even take it out of the can.
Splits it with her cat.
Yeah, splits
Sure.
it with her cat. But then there has to be some love. found. Somebody's got to come into her world. Maybe we do. Maybe we take Chris Pratt and we tell him, you know what? Instead of slimming down for the superhero stuff, go ahead and pack
Shove
on.
it up.
Shove it up a little bit.
Have some pie.
Parks and Rec it back up.
Yeah, Parks and Rec it back up because this is a quieter, smaller film. It's a study of two people falling in love.
It's Oscar bait. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets
Is she impossibly gorgeous like a Margot Robbie?
No, because everybody else would see it.
But that's the joke in these movies. Is that they're always
true.
so hot. It's like what? Yeah. Essentially, a supermodel standing next to you.
Or sort of an Every Girl and Amy Adams and Anne Hathaway. You know, it doesn't hurt your eyes to look at
girl.
Yeah, well, let's go.
Well, she's no Margot Robbie.
Let's go with Amy Adams.
Yeah.
All right. And she's frumped up and, low self-esteem. Got a little bit of that Talia Shire and Rocky.
Oh.
Speaking of boxing movies, she's Amy Adams from the Fighter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Sort of the girl at the bar.
That
Trumpy.
fighter. Right. Now, something's got to turn. I mean, there's got to be a robbery.
Right.
She gets shot and goes into a coma. He nurses her back.
Dark.
It's got to be something. Something's got to turn.
She's stocking shelves.
Yeah,
she's
something
by
fall on
herself. She's having to put the 10-gallon drums of, frosting up there, and she can only do so much before it knocks her out.
All right. Now, what happens is she's got this shit dad, right? It's kind of the white trash dad. So you never amount to anything. He's always smoking, wearing the wife beater and all that kind of stuff. She goes into a coma. He's going to sue the shit out of the 99-cent store, but he can't get paid until she dies.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Now, he wants to pull the plug early and often, but Chris Pratt's character...
Won't let Tommy Lee Jones do it?
He went in there. That's right. Tommy Lee Jones. He went in one night after visiting hours at the hospital, and he started singing the song with his ukulele.
They have a Muzak song they always kind of laugh about. You know, when it comes on, like, oh, here it is again. It's always on every 45 minutes.
Right. And you see her squeeze his finger.
Exactly.
It's a little hand squeeze.
Yeah.
And then the next
a little
day...
brain activity. Beep.
Yeah, and next day you have the doctors, she's in a vegetative state. She's probably not going to last the weekend. She's going to be this way. We're going to have to pull the plug.
That damn frosting.
Pratt's, and he's being restrained by the guards, you know what I mean? Because he's down the hall, and they're going to pull the plug.
Family only, sir. Family only.
I'm pretty sure they shut the machine. I don't know if they physically pull the plug out of the wall.
Yeah, I don't think
Maybe rules are rules.
Cut the power.
I don't know. Go hit the breakers, Tim. How about we do, there's an on and off button on
Hedge trimmers.
It's called pulling the plug. Now I'll go pull the plug.
Yeah. Does the doctor put his hand on Tommy Lee Jones and goes, I'm sorry, sir. She's checked out.
Oh, she's checked out.
Oh, that's great.
That's good. James?
Yeah, I love it.
Powerful?
Yeah, powerful. Took a different direction than I thought you would go, but hey, that's why you play the game, I guess.
That's why you got to play the game. All right, thank you. We got an outro.